Well, hello, everybody. Hi, it's Patrick McCarthy. Nice talking to you guys. Are you ready for today's subject? Well, I have a question for you. Are you ready? How do um how have you thought about living? We all live life, right? Yeah, we do. But how about living life from the heart, living using the heart and not the ego to live life? What are you talking about, Patrick? Okay, well, here is an example from my life. Okay, to really illustrate it. Okay. Because often, just quickly, just before I do this, do you know often if we use the ego, we're scared often when we use the ego. We think we're alone, when we're not all one. We think that we're different, as opposed to everybody has their problems. We're all equal in a lot of ways. A human being is a human being, and we compete. Okay, so we might say something, we might do something because you're coming from that point of view, that state of mind. And after you have regrets. Well, let's just see if living from the heart gives that same result, possibility that you have a regret after. So when I was what? Oh, 18 years old, quite young. Actually, it was my first year of university. I was at Ottawa, Carleton University, and I come from New Brunswick. I wanted out of New Brunswick. No, I wanted a new life. I was on a farm. I didn't like living on a farm, so I wanted out. So I went to New Brunswick. I went to Ottawa, and it was a big city. I'm from the country boy, so you're putting a country mouse into a big city mouse in a big city. Well, what did I do? I jaywalked. Like I was jaywalking in New Brunswick, Grand Falls, where I'm from, because it's all little streets. I look left, look to right, I crossed. I did not wait for any pedestrian light. That was just my style. So when I was in Ottawa, there they had 8-lane highways. I had the same attitude. I looked both ways, ran across, I was halfway. No, and there was cars passing. It was a highway, 8-lane highway in Ottawa. So I said, okay, halfway. Okay, let's go to the next four. And I was almost on the sidewalk, but then suddenly I looked to my right and I saw a car like seconds before it was going to hit me. And finally, it did hit me. Apparently, I don't remember. I was thrown up in the air. I cracked his windshield with my head, and I landed on the ground. And when I came to, ambulance was there, and saying, and I'm just like freaking out. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Calm down. You just broke a leg. He really put me on my spot. I was like insulted a little. Hey, I'm a victim here. Calm down. You only broke your leg. So the story's not done there. I'm now going to university with a cast on my leg with crutches. And my good friend at the time, he said, Patrick, did you know you could sue the pedestrian? You sue the driver that hit you. Are you crazy? I jaywalked. He says, no, you can sue. And you go in, walk into any lawyer office, explain that you're hit by a pedestrian and you want to sue. And they won't ask any money from you, but you quite the contrary, you get money. I said, this doesn't make sense in my head. He says, okay, let's go, Pat. So he convinced me. I went into a lawyer's office. So be it. He did. He said, listen, yes. After talking to me, what happened? Da, da, da. I didn't even know who the name of the person that hit me. He said, listen, I can give you 6,000. I said, pardon me. He said, I can give you 6,000 for this, for the pursuing. And I said, okay, I'll take it. And inside, I was like, oh my God, $6,000. And I was first year university. So this was candy, candy, candy. So I get that money, I got 6,000, and then my mom visited me. Okay. And my mom, well, seeing all my videos up to now, you know that My father was an alcoholic. So my mom basically raised us 8 boys all by herself. So at 18, mom needed a new car. And that 6,000 could help her buy that new car. So I was 18 and I was young. So I said, Mom, can we shake hands? Can you pay me back? Can you pay me back? And she shook my hand. She said, Yes, Patrick, I will. And never to this day has she ever paid me back. And now she's passed away. So I'm never getting the money back. But what I'm trying to say from this example is a long time ago, I had this conversation with myself about that money. And I said, I wouldn't have had it had my friend not talked to me. And it was 6,000 a month. It's money. However, I wouldn't be as stable a person had my mom not been there for me. So if she needed that money to get a car, to get groceries, to get work, to make money, who am I to say to expect that money back? And you might think, Patrick, wake up. I mean, you exploit it. But no, quite the contrary. I think I was intelligent because I was, and we're all intelligent. I'm not being cocky. We're all intelligent. And I was working from the heart when I made that decision later. Okay. I said, oh, okay, it's no problem. I'm not going to ask her. I'm not going to ask her because she's done so much for me. It's incredible. So there I was working from the heart. And to my surprise, how often do we treat our parents like friends? Hey, you did this. Hey, I did this for you. You do this for me. And we forget that they raised us. Some of them, many parents they had to stay up all night for us when we were sick. Or they took us on trips. They took us to ball games. They basically waited and watched us, encouraged us. And then when we're adults, we treat them like friends. And so what I'm telling with this story is the fact that I was able, one, to forgive my mom for not paying me back and to say she needed it more than I did. Okay. I was a student, but still, she needed more than I do. I did. I was the fourth boy, so she had four more to raise. Okay. And so just think about that story. How often, and listen, the fact that I basically uh, gave her that money and I was thankful that she got it and that she was able to buy a car and that would help her situation. And I was part of that. That made me happy. And did I have a regret when you work from your heart? I don't think so. Because you're always when you're working from your heart, you're on a different playing ground. And it just makes sense. And what happens, I don't know if you agree with, but I'm going to say it. For me, what I always understood, I'm spiritual as a person. And when I give out love, which is positive, it's not it's not cutting the apple in two. This is mine, this is yours. It's equal playing ground. I give out love. My mama always told me I get it back sevenfold. And my mom always said, we don't know where it's going to come. It doesn't necessarily come from the same person we gave love to. And that's the beauty of life. We don't know how we're going to get it back, but normally it comes back. It always comes back. So there's a reason why in my life I was bestowed by a marriage, about 3 kids. I had 3 beautiful kids. I've had a beautiful life. And I think part of it, and I know part of it, I know that when you are working from the heart, you come off as a more interesting person to talk to. You come off as a more authentic, more honest. It's It's a winning game all along. So call to action. How about call to action? What you can do from the story. This resonates with you. Try, especially if you got people in your life, like for example, if you have parents that were alcoholics and you're having a hard time, like my father, just showing love for them and seeing how that plays out. And I've already talked about this, but I'm going to join it. When you show love, I believe that it activates neurons in your brain that are not activated when you're working with your ego. And those activated neurons, they can maybe get emotions that you normally don't go get, like that of compassion. Okay? Because in another video before, when I talked about my father and I said that his mother was difficult, a difficult mother. So if he had to have her raise him, that must have been so difficult for him. He probably didn't have much self-esteem after. So do you agree that's not the ego having this conversation? It is out of love, because when you show compassion, you're much more able to understand the situation as they are having at this moment, they're drinking, because it reminds you that we're all human beings. Our parents are human beings. Okay? So call to action number one, where could you change your state of comparison, working with the ego, reactive, and you become more proactive? You think before you speak, and that filter you change from a state of the ego working. What would the heart do? If I were to react with the heart, how would it play out differently? You'd be surprised. You would be surprised how problems can be resolved, because life is a chain reaction. If we are this way, the other person can be this way. But if we are this way, maybe the other person can be this way too. So the way we show up has an impact on how the other person is. So maybe you showing love to this situation, compassion, empathy, in a way is allowing the other person to do likewise, which they would never have done had you used your ego. Does this resonate with you? Hopefully it does, because it's helped me so much. And I'm a guy, and guys, we have a tendency to use our ego, and when we think, hey, I'm macho. Okay, well, using your heart and no, obviously someone exploits you, you got to defend yourself. You got to defend yourself like, hey, I don't like that. That's not respectful. But again, you're using just logic. Hey, that's not respectful. I don't accept this. And you can get up and leave. That makes sense. You have to you use your heart to make decisions. It's going to help you, and you don't need to say it. You can just think it. Okay? Just think it, like, oh, he just called me an asshole. The ego is going to fight back, because the heart is going to say, he must be hurting big time. Anyway, I wish him well. And you laugh it off. He doesn't even know what he's saying. He's drunk. And you keep on walking. That is working from the heart, and it's smart, because you're not using the ego, because when you use the ego, we're often sad after, because we're always in a comparison. He's right. I'm right. He's right or I'm right. What? I'm wrong? You don't have that dyad. Okay? So the call to action, think of how this resonates in your life, and where can you move the needle in your discussions, in your relationships, by showing more empathy, more compassion, by working from the heart. number one. And number two, it's always, I'm trying to make this channel grow to help more men. Okay, so if this resonates with you, it would be so nice if you could just click the subscribe button, and at the same time, you get first notice when I come out with another video, which is coming soon. Okay, I'm going to stop here. I wish you all the best. Peace and love.